right, y'all. All right. Look like we're doing a little bit better on this one. Okay, I'm not gonna make y'all sit there and wait for that whole countdown again. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Look, we already behind schedule. We already after midnight. It's another day. But WrestleMania Saturday is in the books right now. And we gotta tell you something, cause look, I'll be real with y'all. If it wasn't for that main event, I wasn't feeling the show like that. If it wasn't for that main event, NXT Stand Delivered that I saw earlier today blew them out the water. If it wasn't for that main event helped save this show tonight. WrestleMania Saturday, and the build to WrestleMania already wasn't the greatest. Okay, we already established that the build was not the greatest. But I was like, well, even if the build hasn't been the greatest, at least we can deliver on the show, right? We can at least deliver on that. But no, we couldn't even do that. And I'm not gonna say it was a straight trash. I'm not saying we're on that level of just straight trash. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying because Jey Uso won the championship. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, and it was all right. You know, the New Day and the War Raiders showed that the failure that they did in New Day, and them trying to do the mistakes over again, it shouldn't have been on the WrestleMania card, and improved that. Jay Naomi, which is part of my template I have right here, was looking forward to that, and it was boring sometimes. And Naomi did the best that she could to help get heat in that matchup. And I still think the wrong person went over. Then it didn't really start, like, the first good match of the night was Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. And I'm proud of Jacob Fatu for doing that. Then they had El Grande Americano taking on Ray Phoenix. The match, I felt as though it should have been the first place to the Mysterio. And then they came out there. It's just like, well, obviously we can tell that Phoenix is just a replacement, right? And then they had the Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte match. I was like, the amount of frustration, the amount of sloppiness to that match, I was like, no. But then when we get to the main event is what carried the show for me. For that 4 hours, it carried. I said, they're going to give him the last hour. They're going to give him the last hour, and that's exactly what they did. They gave him the last hour. And I was like, okay, well. And then we had some awesome storytelling. Did not see the twist that was coming. And shout out to Chubbs. He don't watch this, but I'm saying, but shout out to him that he called that. He actually texted me and hit me up and said, this is what's going to happen tonight. And I said, it don't make sense. It don't make sense for that to happen like that. But no, it happened. Paul Heyman doing double turns out here. It happened. So we about to get up into your WrestleMania 41 Night 1 review. If you guys are here with me and joining me for this live stream, I appreciate it. I do know it's late. And I know a new computer, and I was setting up my camera that I used to use on the old channel. And I got the program together. Me and my son did that. And we got up on the new laptop, and if for some reason it just wasn't enough power. It was just buffering. It was going on, and I think a lot of people are not aware of me going live again. So I was like, well, I told everybody, look, I apologize for that. So it was a lot going on with that. We here, whoever is here, I do appreciate you guys. We got to talk about WrestleMania Night 1, and like I said, I plan on doing a stand delivery review tomorrow. Now, that's not gonna be live. I'm gonna put it up, and that's gonna go up there Monday with all the other WrestleMania, like the Hall of Fame and all the other podcasts. So this will go up on Monday. But we're going to talk about in the night 2. I'm going to go live for night 2 tomorrow as well. So it's just me tonight. It was late. Q I get up in the morning. Prime time is busy. And Quattro said maybe if he has some time, he'll probably jump in. It all depends. But right now, we about to get up into this. So they kick off. We had God Bless America by Jelly Roll. It was all right. It was nothing to write home about, to be honest with you. But I will talk about the set, though. So the set, at first glance, I was like, well, it looks okay. I think they could have went more Vegas-y for me, because it was maybe it's just me, and I have no problem being wrong about this. But maybe it's just me. But it was feeling a very WrestleMania 39ish when it was in Hollywood. It really felt WrestleMania 39ish, but they had in the stage like audience members in the stage. Those seats for in the stage and all. I was like, wow, those got to be some good seats. I know they are expensive ass seats. You ain't got to tell me. I know they are some expensive ass seats. So, well, it was like I'm not saying. And imagine being right up there for the pyro for that too. Look, even when I was in the Leah Core Center, even when I was at WrestleMania last year at Lincoln Financial Field or in Wells Fargo, that pyro it'd be snapping, it'd be feeling close, but like the more closer you are to the pyro, the more you feel it in your body. You right at the stage, like the fireworks, like bam, right next to your face. You see it. It's like, what's up? That's what it's like. And I'm like, man, that would be a crazy experience. But man, I'll be jumping all night. So, but I like that element of it, but it still just felt reminiscent. I felt as though they really could have went a little bit more Vegas-y, but I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying to me, it was like a reminiscent of WrestleMania 39. Okay, so we kick off WrestleMania, and yes, I'm gonna have my little sparkling water with me. Notice it's not Saratoga. I'm not dumping my face in no water, doing nothing like that. This is clear Canadian, which is a bad sparkling water, I guess. Whatever the case may be. We had the World Heavyweight Championship, Jey Uso versus Gunther. I expected Jey Uso to come in here and win the championship. For those people who are bad on social media, I don't know why. I expected this to happen after he just annihilated Jimmy. The way I thought it was going to play out did not play out at all. But they were in the opening match. There were some people saying that Jey, he looked nervous, saying he could have been drunk. This is the biggest match in Jey Uso's career. Biggest match. He had a lot to prove. Especially after he just snuck up the place last year with him and Jimmy Uso. So that man could have been nervous. Man could have been drunk. Whatever the case could have been. But I was like, okay, let's get into the matchup. And I got my notes here. I was just like, from everything about this match, to me, somewhat disappointed me. Like, first of all, the entrances. Jay had these. First of all, they had something there for Fatal Fury, and there's a certain. I forgot his name. I forgot to write it down. It's gonna be in Fatal Fury. They was up there, and then they had all the dancers out there dancing and stuff like that. And they run down with the Yeet flags, and then the song goes on, and Jay is in the crowd. He coming down from the crowd. Now, remind you, this is a stadium. This ain't no arena. It's a stadium, so there's a further ass walk down to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? It's a further walk. So he's coming down, and it's like I was like, oh, maybe he's getting the serious look. But I'm like, you got 60,000 people in here. You're going to have to yeet with him. So he's yeeting with him. And he comes down to the ring. The entrance was actually taking kind of long. Gunther comes out, and even the Spanish Announce table was getting their life when it came to the eating. They size each other up at first. Jay starts to eat the chops, but Gunther chops Jay out the ring, and they continue to chop him. Then back in there, Jay hits a spear out of nowhere, and that spear, I wrote in my notes right here, that spear still sucks. It sucks. Look, even Ricky Starks ain't got the best spear, but the way he make it so impactful, it's better than Jey Uso's. It looks like that's the one that Jey Uso's trying to replicate the most, maybe, that or Roman's, and it still sucks. It's a sucky move that I hate that Jey Uso has that move, to be honest with you. If y'all disagree, that's fine. It's just wrong. It sucks. Gunther hits a front drop kick and a stacked power bomb for a 2 count. Gunther tries again, but Jey reverses it, and he goes up and he hits one of his Uso splashes only for 2. Then, so at this point, Gunther goes out and grabs his title. He's like, yo, I'm done with this. I'm done. And I actually kind of like this spot. So Jay sees him run. He's like, no, you ain't gonna get away from me. So he goes to dive. But now the referee is right there in front talking to Gunther. So when Jay goes to dive, the referee sees Jay coming. He dodges. When Jay goes to dive, he gets hit in the head with the belt by Gunther. I thought that was it was clever because that would make sense. When the ref turns to move, he won't be able to see it anyway. That makes sense to me. And Gunther hits him with the title, and then he goes in for doing the Gunther splashes only for 2. And I was like, man, because that could have been it right there. Gunther puts on a sleeper to Jay, but then Jay makes the ropes. Then they have a chop off, and Jay's like laughing, like, you know, he kind of went more, almost reminiscent to WrestleMania 31 with Reigns and Brock Lesnar when Brock was like tossing the shit out of him. So that's what that's the kind of vibe I got here with Jay Uso getting chops, and then they keep going back and forth. And Jay hits him down with a hard clothesline. Gunther try to goes for another power bomb, but then Jay reverses it, hits a power bomb on Gunther, and then we go a little further in the match. Jay hits not one, not two, but 3 Uso splashes. Now this is what I was like. Okay, well then I figured Gunther was gonna kick out, and then we was gonna have something else, and then Jimmy was gonna come down and save his brother, get his leg back. We ain't getting none of that. After this, Jay sits there and puts Gunther in the sleeper hole, and Gunther taps. That's it. Gunther taps. Like not passed out. Taps. I was like, wait. I said, there's no way that happened, right? There's no way that just happened. It actually happened. I was like, wow. Jay Uso made Gunther tap out. I know it's probably part of the story and everything like that, but I was like, wow. Is it one of Jay Uso's greatest matches? Not by no means. Is it one of Gunther's best matches? Not by. Gunther has had 2 back-to-back great WrestleMania matches that probably could be in the top 50 WrestleMania matches of all time. At least I know one of them was that triple threat match. So I was like, this ain't one of them. But it served its purpose. He wins the championship. Jimmy's out in the ring. He's hugging and celebrating with him. They have that moment. And, you know, it's best. It's like I said, it's the biggest match for Jay Uso. I'm glad he got his moment. I don't see Jay Uso holding that belt past SummerSlam. I really don't. And so, but we here now. So I'm just like, okay, so I appreciate you. We got the story done with it. I knew Jay was going to win. I just did not expect him to make Gunther tap out. And, I mean, like, relatively quickly, too. It wasn't even like he was fighting to the point, like, you know, he gives like a little tap out. He don't do that. No, he did. My man said, I'm done. I was like, what? I had the stink look on, like, I don't know how I like that one. But once again, shout out to Jay Uso. Congratulations to you, you know. And it was just like, I know they probably wanted the main event. And it was what it was. It was. But to me, it wasn't the greatest start to WrestleMania. And once again, we was all, and I'm already annoyed that it's on Easter weekend. I'm already annoyed that it's the 19th and 20th. You know what I'm saying? This WrestleMania should have been done already. You know? But we're here. So, next matchup. I got to take a drink on this one. The next matchup was for the War Raiders take on the New Day. I was annoyed this whole time. When the New Day first turned heel, I was like, that was a good heel turn. The Big E stuff. We didn't see the team with them kind of, he was going on his own. They were getting nuclear heat in the beginning. Then Choice decided to just feud him with the LWO, keep him off TV. And when they did that, they never followed up with their fan walking out on them and anything. They didn't follow up on anything. And they like, hey, we're still heel New Day. And they're in the same boat. They're doing nothing. They're getting no reaction no more. So, Nick Aldis, I just found this out. Nick Aldis makes a TLC match between DIY, the Street Profits, and Motor City Machine Guns. For next week's SmackDown, I heard he got booed. That storyline has more heat to it, whether it's good heat, you know, whether like it's been an awesome storyline, no, but has more heat to it than the Street Profits and the War Raiders. That is the match that should have been on there. Maybe they didn't want to replicate from last year. Like, well, we had a tag team ladder match last year. It's just doing the same thing over. Who gives a shit? Because what we got tonight was heatless. For those guys, because the New Day is awesome. The War Raiders are awesome. I want to enjoy the storyline enough to hate the New Day. I really want this heel turn to work. But after he has been at the pre-show booth since this happened in November of last year, and they did not go taunt him not once. And I'm like, not once to keep getting heat on them. They do anything with them. So then we had this match. The New Day attack early, and then Woods tried to hit Eric like with a punch, but he no-sells it, and then he just picks up Woods into a powerbomb and just throws him on Woods. Picks up Kofi into a powerbomb and just throws him on Woods. On the outside, Ivar throws both of them out, and they both sit up on the ring. He does his running splash to it, and then he gets a splash on the Woods inside the ring, and Woods kicks out. Kofi does, there's this one move that Woods pulls out Eric on the bottom rope, but he's still like half in the ring, half leaning out, and Kofi does a senton from the top rope to the outside on the Eric onto the apron. I thought that would look kind of sick also. More later on down the match, I was even mad. I was taking notes for this. Even later on down the match, Ivar goes for a moonsault. He didn't get enough air. He almost collapsed. It reminded me of Lita at 39 when she was doing the moonsault. I was like, bro, you got to get some more air underneath there because you're just falling backwards and you're just rotating enough. That's what it looked like for Ivar when he did that. The Warriors go for their finish, but Kofi trips up Ivar, and they hit the double foot stomp, and as Woods pins him, Kofi holds his leg, and the New Day are the World Tag Team Champions. They run out the arena, but the crowd didn't care. And that's what bothers me. The crowd didn't care. And they have every right not to care because there's no heat on this match. It's heatless. It has nothing. You have fumbled the ball with the New Day. That's what happened. You was in the lead. You fumbled the ball, and now you're trying to pick up the ball and try to go back to where you was at. You got to start again. But all that great work y'all did, you got to get more heat on them. But if that means they're missing WrestleMania for them to get more heat, then they got to do that. But you can't just like, well, we try to put some heat on them and let them get booed by 60,000 people. They should have came into WrestleMania getting nuclear heat, but they weren't. So the New Day wins the matchup, and I'm already annoyed because I'm like, well, now that's 2 matches in, and I'm like, we got a 7-match card. It didn't start strong, but it damn sure could finish strong, right? So the next match we got, y'all, is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Oh, boy. So, I was looking forward to this. You guys can see on my template, I have this match on here. I was like, because I was hoping this wasn't going to be no 5-star match, but I just wanted the sisters to represent and to go out there and have a singles match that where it's not no title on the line, and I want Naomi to get some good heat on her. I think Naomi, if y'all not pay attention to social media, and I look at any stuff out there, I don't think y'all really understand how good Naomi is doing being as a heel right now. She's doing real well, but she needs something to work with. So Naomi comes out. She come out to like this caution tape wall that had third wheel and not for me stuff like that. She just busts through that, looking really good. And then Jay comes out. She has like this bodysuit kind of like this right in the middle with these lightning bolts coming in. I was like supposed to be like represent a Greek goddess. I was like, am I missing something out there? I was like, it ain't Wonder Woman, obviously. It's not. I was sitting there thinking like it ain't Black Lightning. It ain't like I'm trying to think what was she trying to represent other than just having some lightning bolts on her, like maybe like Zeus or something like that. But here's the one thing I hated though. In the beginning for her entrance, they had this whole we have a WrestleMania weather report. I don't know who the guy was, but I think he was because they had like the Weather Channel microphone. It was just so cheesy. Him trying to do the weather. And then you see all the rain coming in, the storm. Like the storm coming, we had to take for cover. And it just looked cheesy. And on top of that, Jay's entrance don't work in the daytime. We're in Vegas, so you're on the West Coast, so it's day until the main event. That's what happens when you're in the West Coast. It happened for WrestleMania 31 and WrestleMania 26. And anytime they're on the West Coast, which I don't mind them being in the West Coast when they have them open doors like that, but it's going to be daytime until the main event. So it hurts some entrances when it can't be dark. And Jade you had to see the silhouette of Jade. And it come out, but it just don't work right in the daytime, right? So Jay's going around and to attack, just tossing Naomi around. Now there was one move that Naomi pulls Jay outside the ring, but like her feet are still dangling on the apron, and Naomi's holding to the outside and gives her a face buster. That was dope on the floor. And so Naomi hits Jay's taking some heat in here, but then Jay switches the momentum around. Hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Naomi goes for a blockbuster, but Jay catches her, impressive, and hits a jackhammer for 2. Then Naomi tries again, fights back, goes for a crossbody, and Jay catches her, fall away, slammed, and a kip up. So, and after the match goes on for a little bit. Then in the corner, Naomi hits one of those, Jay was gonna go for the Jaded, but then Naomi pops up and hits her with a bulldog from the top rope. I like that. Then she's a split-legged moonsault for 2. Jay gets Naomi up for the Jaded, but then Naomi rolls her up and tries to put her in her submission, her finish. But then Jay, this spot got scary. Jay has Naomi up on her shoulders. Like right now, this is where Naomi's legs is at. She's sitting on my shoulders. Jay has her up in the air. So what Jay's trying to do is she's trying to toss her, turn around, because once again, they're both facing this way. She's trying to toss Naomi up, catch her, like twist her around, and then powerbomb her. Well, she does it, but Naomi kind of like falls on her left arm kind of weird. I was just like, ooh. That was kind of brutal. Then she hits the Jaded, and then 1, 2, 3, Jay wins. And that was it. I was like, I was disappointed in what I was expecting, because I was like, listen, I know when it comes straight up, one-on-one, Naomi's not beating Jay like that, right? So I figured she'd need some help. And I figured we could probably get a start. I maybe thought like maybe Lash, Legend Takara Jackson come in there and help her out. And then we get deep in the story, like Naomi gets her own little stable going. Or she gets some kind of help. Even seeing her come out on SmackDown, it shows that this is not done between her, Bianca, or Jay just yet. But it's just like, for her being heel and her just losing to Jay clean like that, it was just like, okay, Jay got no point to do anything else with Naomi. She has no point. She whooped her ass 3 different times. Like, you just a wild little bitch right now. Like, I have no point to do anything with that. And I was like, well, having Jay lose on that biggest stage against Naomi, even if she cheated, it just gives it a reason to keep it flowing. Which, it felt flat to me. And that's, now with 3 matches in the night 1, I'm just like, all right, y'all, we not going to do it. Y'all got to pick this night up. Y'all had to pick this night up. So that's when we get the United States Championship. LA Knight, taking on Jacob Fatu. Sorry, y'all, that's so good. So Jacob Fatu comes up like this wolf mask, and he come out there with a big Solo Willie. Like that Big Willie style suit on. He had that cream suit on, so he had the bloodline should be the red. He had the black. He had the cream on with the chain. I was like, bro, that's the only time I thought someone would come out at the end. I was just wrong. It was a straight up matchup. LA Knight comes out with the Maserati. He pulls up and rolls one down and has LA Knight. The fans are still pop for him. So this match, I was like, all right, I'm trying to get the food together. I wasn't taking too much notes because I'm already annoyed by how Knight won to turn out. So I was like, I'm not even taking too many notes. But there was a point in the match that Jacob Fatu about to go for his mighty moonsault, and LA Knight runs up to the top, grabs him, and gives him a German suplex, a reverse German suplex on the top rope. And then, as the match goes on, Fatu starts going crazy and hits like about 3 hip attacks to LA Knight, who's sitting in the corner, and then goes for a swanton for 2. So then Jacob goes for the mighty moonsault in this match. As he's going for the mighty moonsault, LA Knight catches him in a BFT on the way down. I was like, that took some timing, but that was great. He did that, and but Fatu still kicks out. So LA Knight goes to the top rope. Jacob Fatu super kicks him off the top rope, but he falls across the top rope. Then Jacob jumps up and does a turning back senton on the LA Knight's back, and then he hits him with 3 mighty moonsaults. And Jacob Fatu right now is your new United States champion. I'm very happy for Jacob Fatu. I was hoping Jacob Fatu wins a championship, and he's going to win plenty of championships in this company. It's going to be a great career for him. I wasn't expecting it to be now, and I wasn't expecting him and Solo's rivalry to be for that championship. Because I thought there was going to be some shenanigans. Solo was going to come back out. LA Knight was going to find a way to pick up the win. With Jacob Fatu, Triple H said, "Nah, bruh. We taking it off here. We putting this thing on Jacob Fatu, who has organically turned to a babyface. He's supposed to be the heel in this, but organically turned to a babyface. So I am curious to see what's going to happen now with LA Knight, what's going to happen with Jacob Fatu, and how this thing is going to turn out. So that I really want to see what's going to happen with that or SmackDown, because obviously the plan has to be going to Solo. I don't think they will stretch the Solo and Jacob Fatu beef out until SummerSlam. Don't do that. Don't do that. But I do think that it'll probably be Backlash, or maybe they want LA Knight to run it back. I doubt it, though. I really doubt it. So Rey Mysterio was legit injured. I'm going to say legit injured. Okay, I necessarily don't know, but I want to say that Rey Mysterio was legit injured. So he needed a replacement for this matchup. The replacement that Rey Mysterio got was Rey Fenix. So we went from Rey Mysterio to Rey Fenix to face Elgato Americano. In my personal opinion, this should have been the match from Jump Street. This should have been the match. That's how Phoenix, in my opinion, should debut. If you wasn't going to have him on WrestleMania, why debut him before WrestleMania, not the SmackDown after? I thought they was going to have a plan for him, but I was like, but no, so they didn't do it. And with Chad Gable going around with them Lucha Underground backstage segments, even though it was only one, I figured that it was going to lead up to Rey Fenix. But I was it was wrong. It went against Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio got injured, so Rey Fenix is in here. So it's like, well, Rey Fenix is obviously a replacement, but he's just in here to have a good match with Gable. And I did feel as though that the match was fine, but I wasn't expecting the outcome. Once again, I was like, a lot of these I wasn't expecting the outcome on. Yeah, that's good right there. Sorry, y'all. We live, but we gotta do this. So on the outside, there's Vinkino, I believe his name is, who was the former AAA champion. Why do I bring that up? Because it just said on the pre-show today that WWE bought AAA, acquired them. Does this mean Alberto Del Dipshit is coming back to the WWE? I doubt it. I don't know what this partnership means, though. I know what it means. I'm just saying, but it came out of nowhere for me. I was like, what? AAA? They're going to buy AAA? You going to buy AAA? Okay. It's happening. So, Vinkino was on the outside. Gable goes up to him and gets slapped. And then, by him, and they go back in the ring. When we come back in, Phoenix about to go for a springboard. But what I like is when he goes to springboard, Americano catches him in a Northern Lights suplex and pins him for 2. And then, let me tell you something. Phoenix is down, right? This is probably one of the most impressive moves I've seen since the moonsault leg drop that Too Cold Scorpio used to do. Gable was up on a tie rope, and he's about to go for his moonsault, but he goes for a 540 splash. Listen, how do I explain it? Or it's like a moonsault sentai. How do I explain it? He's up there in the room. He goes for the moonsault. And you know how usually you land on your front part on the moonsault. But no, he tucked that in and landed on his back. So he was like a moonsault and flipped again, like a 540 he landed that thing clean, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, he landed that thing clean. So he does that, and I was like, that woke me up. Phoenix tries to does his driver for 2. Was it the Phoenix driver or the Tiger driver? I don't know what he calls it, right? Phoenix, then he tries to go run. You know how he bounces on the ropes and runs the ropes. But Americano shakes the rope, So meanwhile, they go and he puts that metal plate right here in between his mask, right? And Phoenix starts attacking him again. He does the little run the roll. He kicks him square in the face, but he's selling the foot because it was metal in the mask. And then he hits the ankle. He hits the ankle lock, even though he's doing ankle lock on the wrong ankle that he kicked him in. But Phoenix makes it to the rope. But then Gable takes him down again and gets a flying headbutt. Actually, Phoenix tries to go for a headbutt himself, but he bounces off, and then Gable hits him with the head, and the middle head takes him out, and then he goes for a flying headbutt and wins the match. It's good to see Chad Gable win his first WrestleMania match, but even though he's El Grande Americano. But I was like, it was good to see that. It was a decent match. It was a decent match. I enjoyed it. I was like, now we waking up a little bit to WrestleMania because we only got 2 matches left. So I was like, I know they're gonna kill the most time for it. So, excuse me, had to get it out. We had HBK come out to announce how many people are here tonight. And it's funny, HBK's out there dancing, and he got the card. I see the number, right? I see it says 61,000. I was like, so 61,000 bullshit, right? So Sean reveals it's 61,467, which is always their roundup number, which means they probably got 50,000 some people. Okay. I just know that it was less than what Philly had last year. In Philly, they said about 74,000, so it means about 69,000 of it or something like that. So these things happen, okay? But I was like, but where ticket sales were, and I was like, I don't think they're going to sell as much as they did for the Philly show. But it came out and did that. So now it's time for the WWE Women's Championship matchup. Okay, hold on, y'all. Make sure we got things up, clicking stuff. I hope y'all can hear me in the chat. I know I just got a message saying I'm cutting in and out. My audio's cutting in and out. I'm making sure that everything is if you guys can hear me or not. Making sure. Hold on, we gotta check all this. Got a message saying I'm cutting in and out. Okay. So it's time for Charlotte against Tiffany Stratton. I think the audio is fine right now. I hope so. It's time for Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany comes out first. And me and Q-Flow, we sitting there watching because he came over and we were watching it. And I was like, why is Tiffany coming out first? She's the champion. I hope to hell Charlotte is not going to win this because she come out because she is the championship, right? But no, Tiffany had these like 3 boxes up there. Like they're like Barbie boxes. And she had 2 boxes that had, videos of her, and she was in the middle box. And I was like, oh, okay, that's, that was actually cool. She came out with that. And then Charlotte comes up in a Rolls Royce, and they open up the door for her, and she has a nice entrance. So I was like, okay, because her coming up in a Rolls Royce, and then them moving it, and then trying to set up Tiffany Stratton's entrance, it would just been easier to knock Tiffany's out the way first, and then do Charlotte. So when it comes to entrances, I get it. So, automatically, once again, I'm going to have a very, very unpopular opinion about this matchup, right? And once again, maybe it's not as unpopular as I think it is. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I did not like this match at all. I was like, the build for this has already been bullshit and lackluster at that. And I was like, when it comes to this matchup, I was like, at least deliver on the match. Because I love Charlotte. I'm a Charlotte fan. But however, and Charlotte has had bangers at Mania. Charlotte and Tiffany, just the body language and the look just felt like they'd rather be anywhere else right now but them. And it just felt like they were legit like, I ain't trying to let you get a hand up over me. That's how it felt. I know I could be wrong. But that's how it felt to me. And I was like, man, this is we got to do. I was going to give the match a chance. Right? So I'm also curious to see how y'all felt about it as well too, because I was like, I was going to give this match a chance, but excuse me. Make sure I'm checking the chat. Make sure we all good in here. They start brawling. They kind of flow out to the outside, right? Then Charlotte gives Tiffany a backdrop on the barricade, so get brutal. Charlotte does, why does she do this? The Stephanie McCoy where she put your head between your legs and start doing the little smashing thing. Charlotte do not need to be doing that move. And first of all, Booker T had me dying at saying deliver the way when Stephanie was doing that earlier. I was like, man, Charlotte, you don't need to be doing that move. You need to stop doing it. She was just trying to. I was like, stop it, Charlotte, you stop it. That's how I felt. Tiffany fights back and gets two handspring elbows to the corner to Charlotte. Then she tries to go for her cartwheel Alabama slam, which I think is I like what she does there, right? But Charlotte turns it into a kind of reverse it, picks her up and turns it into a sit down powerbomb. Charlotte goes for a moonsault, but then Tiffany Stratton knocks her down, and Charlotte hurts her knee. You can hear Charlotte say, "Wait!" And I was like, so Tiffany like shark the blood just went after that knee and started doing it. So then Charlotte fights back, and then she takes Tiffany down, wraps her leg, comes out with the old school break, wraps her leg around the ring post and slams it across the ring post. So now Tiffany's knee hurting her. So then Charlotte goes for a figure four. She didn't bridge it. She just went to the figure four, and then Tiffany starts hitting her on her knee brace so they could break the hold. Tiffany goes for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Charlotte gets the knees up and then go for the roll, but then she kicks out. But then now as Tiffany's getting back up, Charlotte's on the top rope. And then Charlotte goes and she hits the natural selection from the top rope. And I was like, this is it. This is it for Tiffany. I was like, damn it, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me right now. But she kicks out. Then Charlotte goes and misses a tackle to the corner. Then it's like the low impact after low impact after low impact at the end of this match. She goes and tries to, how people ram their shoulder to the ring post. She barely touched the middle turnbuckle with her head. And then Tiffany picks her for the Alabama slam. She's supposed to Alabama slam her into the corner. And she does that, and it's like it barely hit, right? And then, so Charlotte's will be out of it, and then she goes to steamrolls her, hits the prettiest moonsault ever, and pins Charlotte clean. And when she gets up, Tiffany is bleeding from the mouth, and then she chipped a couple teeth somewhere. I don't know. Charlotte must have got her good. Like, she was in a fight. She was bruised up. It was like, yeah, she was like playing hours on 2K. But she had the tooth was chipped and all that. I was like, whoa, this was something, right? I couldn't even care less for this match, y'all. I really couldn't care less for it, and the bill was not great, and then it was sloppy a lot of times, and it just felt like Charlotte didn't want to be there. I think in my conspiracy, put my foil helmet on. I really think when Charlotte came back and the fans turned on her, she got rattled. And I ain't just talking about the promo when she got rattled by the audience. Tiffany. I think she really feels that her career is over. She really loves this, right? She wants to come back and enjoy it, but I guess she just don't understand where the hate is coming from. And once again, you get into character and shit like that, but at night that shit can really bother you. I think it's just fuck with her the whole time. The Tiffany Stratton thing is Tiffany had never really made the transition from a heel to a babyface. She's just been Tiffany Stratton. And it's those, like the mic work and the back and forth, the banter that they've been having with each other, it just ain't there. And for the match, it just ain't there. I have no desire to see no kind of rematch for this between them. As much as I thought, if you had told me last year Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte, that's money, sure. Today, it wasn't for me. So as I'm sitting there with my hand on my chin, I'm just like, y'all got one match left to go. Y'all need to really boost it up for me to even give this a thumbs in the middle for WrestleMania 41 Night 1. But of course we had to do the Hall of Fame inductees, right? We got to make sure we talk about the Hall of Fame inductees. And everybody came out, Stone Cold and Bret Hart. I like to have them up there because obviously the only one that gets the music is Triple H. And the thing is, y'all don't want, unless Austin is coming tomorrow, y'all don't want to hear that glass break before tomorrow. So I get it. he was in the building, and they had John Tenta's kids in Typhoon. They had Triple H, of course. They had Austin and Bret Hart, and they had Michelle McCool. It should have been LayCool, but they had Michelle McCool, but no Luger. Luger said, "Listen, I'm still asleep. Y'all had me out there all late last night, but I understand. Luger didn't want to be out in the wheelchair. There. I mean, I don't know, because I would figure you would be out there and try to stand and wave and stuff like that. I don't know. I do not know the situation like that, but I'm just saying. But I did not see Luger on that stage, and if I missed him, and I don't remember even Alicia Taylor announcing him at all. And I could be wrong. So if y'all know, post on the comments down below. And also, y'all, before we get into this main event, let's make sure we get the likes in the video. I know it's late, and I know I fucked up on this live stream once already, but we almost do it though, because we're gonna talk about this main event, which, in my personal opinion, this main event saved the show. It saved the show for me. It really did. So we get the triple threat match. It ain't for no championship, no number one contender shot. It's like they still say the soul, to save the soul of WWE, right? So we have CM Punk taking on Roman Reigns, taking on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out in the I can't stand the rain, Missy Elliott black trash bag jacket. And he's just shooting the flamethrower. He's shooting up there like on the stage LED board. And I'm like, hey, yo, don't be aiming that flamethrower at me. There's fans up there on the stage now. And I'm like, y'all thought it was hot then? Having them flames that close to you? Bruh. I'm like, off. So he just, he's being his Rock for WrestleMania 32, this flamethrower and everything. Then the lights go dark. And at first I was just like, oh, what the fuck happened to my Peacock account? Because that shit would happen, right? And when it comes back, he's on crystallized look. I was like, ooh, okay, you know what? That looks fly. It's almost like the savior in a way, right? And he walks out to the ring, so Seth is in there. Roman comes out. Roman is out by himself. No Paul Heyman. And Roman got the black and white going. The J's that Roman was wearing was fly today. They was fly today. I was like, I like them J's he had on. If y'all know the exact J's that he had on, y'all can post that in the comments as well. But I was like, man, I want a pair of them J's, man. I ain't a big sneaker head like that, but them J's was fly. So they had these LED panels all up in the air. I thought it was like, the little LED art that they do. But I was like, no, it's actually panels. And when they came down, they were flashing different members of the bloodline. And as he was like, kind of like walking through like a... I would say like a coliseum of his family members. So I thought it was kind of dope. But then CM Punk got the master entrance, right? CM Punk, and they showed a little video package of young OVW CM Punk, and when he was in that ECW brand, and him went into this all the young CM Punk, even before the goatee and the beard and stuff like that. Young CM Punk days, long hair CM Punk, and they're playing what's the name of his old song? That Fire, It Burns, or something like that. But yeah, that old CM Punk song, I actually like that old CM Punk song. I like his new one better, obviously, but I did like that old CM Punk song. And then it's especially introducing to who he is. He had a little video package. I was like, yo, CM Punk maybe not going to go over, right? But then in Living Color is there live. I was like, there's no way in hell a Living Color they're going to be in Vegas, and Living Color is not going to be there to perform CM Punk coming into his first main event at WrestleMania. And I was like, because I was low-key jealous. And I'm going to tell you why I'm low-key jealous. Y'all see the shirt I got on right now? It's a CM Punk shirt. You know where I got this shirt at on the real? I got this shirt from WWE World last year when it was in Philly. Okay? And I was just like, man, I'm upset that CM Punk got injured, because I could have swore that when he had that main event, he would have been live with Living Color in Philly. I so hardly believe that. However, if that was the case, we would never got the stuff with The Rock and the Final Boss, which was some awesome stuff. So things always have a way of working themselves out. But now he was live with In Living Color, and they out there looking good. They said, I was worried about where they're gonna sound good because we had some live entrances recently in both wrestling brands, and I was like, these things can need some help, they need some work, and it's like they can't hear themselves in the mic, whatever the case may be. But no, we had that problem with In Living Color at all. They came out there and they performed, and CM Punk comes out there with Paul Heyman. He has the yellow kick pads and the trunks on with the gray hoodie. He's out there hugging up with In Living Color. Even takes a selfie with the lead singer. I was like, it was dope. It just feels so homey, right? And it's clobbering time. He walks down to the ring with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman even lets him see his watch. Like, hey, yo, it's clobbering time. And I was like, I love that. I love that. So, y'all ready to get up into this? Get this main event? Because I thought it was great. All right. And once again, I'm making sure before I even go into this that, we ain't got too much buffering going on, because I'm seeing that I got this issue. Like, well, I don't know what the hell is the problem right now, y'all. I really don't know. When you try to do better, and it's just not working right. I don't know I really don't know what's going on right now. I appreciate y'all staying with me as I'm trying to figure this thing out, but I really don't know what the hell is going on right now. But I'm trying to figure this thing. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. All right, let's get to the main event. I'm not gonna try to do too much moving or anything like that. Roman. Let's see. Before the match, the bell goes off. Punk rolls outside the ring. He goes to talk to Paul Heyman. It's like, I just need some advice, and it's just to get under Roman Reigns' skin, right? And then see, hits Seth. Because Seth's trying to sit there like, look, it's the cancer, maybe I get rid of him. But he like, no, I ain't trying to hear that. He hits Seth, and then he goes for the 10 punches, but then Punk comes in and attacks him. But then Roman hits him with like 2 big clotheslines. One for Punk, one for Seth Rollins, right? And then Seth goes and he dives to the outside. He dives to the ropes and sends Roman into the steps. That just leaves Punk and Rollins stay each other on the outside. They run each other and they start to fighting. Then they go into the crowd. They start fighting in the crowd, and then as they're fighting in the crowd, Punk picks up a steel chair, but not just regular any steel chair. The ones that y'all get like the novelty chairs. I have a lot of them in my house because all the events that I went to, I got like one for Extreme Rules. I got one for Battleground. I got one for Royal Rumble. I was trying to get one for Elimination Chamber when it came to Philly, and I was trying to get one for WrestleMania. I was really trying to go for WrestleMania, but the amount they was charging for them chairs now compared to what I had to pay for them, I was like, I can't do it. Maybe I can find one on eBay for cheaper. I doubt it, but I was like, I can't do that. So he hits him with that chair. So it had a little padding to it, so it was an easy night for Seth Rollins, at least until we got to the trash can. Then we get to the trash can, and Seth sends CM Punk to the trash can, starts beating with the trash can, and then Punk turns the tables, and then gives Rollins a suplex on the trash can and flattens the trash can. That was sick. So, as they're fighting back, they get closer to the ring. Then Roman just jumps the barricade and lands on both of them. And then Roman comes back out, clears the announce table. Their announce tables look like really newer. I was like, man, can they even really go through this? I can't name off the top of my the material on top of my head, but I was just like, it's a newer table. It's a newer table. I was like, are they really going to go through that? So, and then there's a big prime bottle, and Roman's like, I've been playing 2K recently. You can use the prime bottle as a weapon. So he just starts hitting Seth Rollins with the prime bottle. Back in the ring, CM Punk does the ooh-ah to Roman to try to go for it, but Roman catches him with a Samoan drop, takes him down. Seth gets in, hits a springboard, and Roman just cuts him off at the pass. Punk hits, they're both in the corner later on. Seth in one corner, Roman in the other corner. Punk hits his running knees, hit one for Seth, one for Roman, low back down, and then he catches both of them. Roman in a neck breaker and Seth in a DDT and gives them both to them or reverse DDT to Roman. It was one or the other. Then Punk is kind of like, I got this in the bag, right? He goes in and gives a diving elbow to Seth Rollins. Then he's about to give one to Roman. So Seth comes up and tries to jump up and give him the Falcon Arrow. The Falcon Arrow superplex combo. Roman has Seth on his shoulders. CM Punk jumps off and hits a Doomsday Device on Seth Rollins. Cool spot. I like seeing the Doomsday Device. But then Roman hits a Superman punch to CM Punk for a 2 count. Roman goes for a spear, but then Punk kicks him. And then they hit like the yay boo chants between Punk and that. And then Punk hits like a little Uranagi to the side Uranagi or a side effect, how you want to call it. And then Roman kicks out. He goes to the Anaconda Vice. The first time we go to the Anaconda Vice for that. But then, as he's in the Anaconda Vice, Seth comes out of the top rope out of nowhere, hits a frog splash on both of them. So now he's like, oh, you know what everybody else don't like? That buckle bomb. So he goes and hits the buckle bomb on Roman, hits the buckle bomb on Seth, on CM Punk, and then Punk goes later on. Punk tries to go for a GTS on Rollins, but then Roman spears him, and then he goes for a spear on Seth, but Seth turns into like the slow motion. Seth turns into a pedigree. It was dope. That was actually kind of dope. But it only goes for 2. Triple H is back there fuming right now. It's only for 2. Then I like this one. Seth goes because he's on top of it. You see him do a little sign across. Seth goes for a Phoenix Splash and then he rolls through it. And then he rolls as soon as he rolls into a GTS. But Roman goes for a spear. But then Punk is out the way and he hits Seth. And then Punk goes for GTS on Roman. And then it's only for 2. And then it kicked out. Now we all invested in this matchup now. We all invested into this match. Seth yells at Punk and says, he yells at Roman. He's like, listen, no, you can't, you wasn't doing that to me. You needed me. You lost the shield. You lost your bloodline. I think he even dropped Mox. I think he said Mox. To me, it's how he said Mox. If y'all know if he said Mox or not, post down in the comments down below. So, he's like, look, we need to take him out. Because it's old school. So he goes out and Seth is like, I want to do the triple power bomb. He clears off the announce table, and then he about to have him go up, and then Roman's getting all hyped, like, yeah, you know what we're going to do to screw him. So Roman's about to do it, and he just slaps Seth Rollins. And Roman's like, yo, screw that, I'm doing it myself. He power bombs CM Punk through the announce table. He takes Seth Rollins and then power bombs him through the expansion announce table. And the way these tables sound when they break it was like, ooh, these are just newer tables. But he wasn't done Rollins. He picks Rollins up, throws Rollins back into the ring. He hits the running spear. Remember that running spear he did to the Undertaker at WrestleMania 33? The Undertaker was just sitting there like, and he got speared out. That's the spear he did to Seth Rollins. Excuse me, y'all. That ain't good. But Rollins kicks out. I was like, that could have been the finish of the matchup. But Rollins kicks out. So, Roman starts choking, it goes for his choke. Hold on, make sure I write that. Then he starts choking CM Punk in his little grip, and then Punk rolls him up for 2, but then he still got the grip on. But then Roman he fights out and puts any kind of vice on Roman. But then Seth takes Punk and puts him in the sharpshooter. Then Roman starts choking out Seth, and then it turns to a Northern Lights suplex, which was quite impressive. But then Punk stops Roman, and then gives a GTS to Seth Rollins, but only for a 2 count. So then I was like, I knew it was going to be a lot of finisher spamming in this one. It wasn't as much as the cage match was, but I was like, we got something in here, right? And Punk goes, they had this nice little sequence though. Even though I'm not a big fan of the no selling, but there's a nice sequence here where Punk gives Punk stops. Hold on. What do I have right here? Okay. Punk goes for a GTS on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is staggered. And then Roman spears Punk, and Punk is down. But then as Seth is staggering, he goes and stomps Roman Reigns. So all three guys out. The fans really enjoyed that one. I apologize. I was sitting looking at my notes. I was like, what the hell did I write here? So Paul Heyman decides to go get a chair. He just grabs a chair, and, he's sitting there. He looks extremely stressed, extremely worried. And at the end of the ring, it's it's Roman Reigns, and it's CM Punk. And he's like, who is his allegiance going to be with, right? Is it going to be his tribal chief? Or is it going to be his best friend? So he slides a chair in to CM Punk. And then everybody's like, oh, he turned on Roman. He's going to go for CM Punk. So CM Punk is getting up like, yeah, I got the chair now. So things go. And now Paul Heyman gets in the ring with him. As soon as Paul Heyman gets in the ring, I was like, it's shenanigans going on. Because why the hell is Paul Heyman wilding his ass in the ring? Well, that's what happened. He goes to attack Roman, but then Paul gives him a low blow. And he said, you made me do this. You made me do this. You put me in this situation. My tribal chief, this is for you. He comes up, crawls over with the steel chair and gives it to Roman. He's like, look, my tribal chief. On the other side of the ring, Seth is getting up to the ramp side. Just like it was in the Shield days. Like, yo, you can do it. It's the Shield all over again. You can. They've been teasing this spot of him just wanting to hit Rollins. Even though he hit Rollins last year at WrestleMania, but he wanted to do it again, right? And then so as he's about to do that, Paul, the fans saw it coming, but we were still shocked. Low blows Roman Reigns. And the crowd just goes crazy. And Seth just standing there, just looking at, takes the chair. He holds his hand out. Paul gives him the chair. Paul takes a nice old seat into the corner. Seth Rollins smacks the back of Roman Reigns with the chair. Hits a stomp. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Seth freaking Rollins won. I had Seth winning, right? Seth freaking Rollins wins the matchup. I had Seth winning, but I'm telling you right now, I did not have the Paul Heyman turn. I did not have the Paul Heyman turn on my bingo card at all. And I was just like, damn, I figured it was going to be a thing where they cancel each other out. He's like, no, I can't do this no more. Screw you and screw you. I really thought that's what was going to happen, but no, that's not what happened at all. That's not what happened at all. So, Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins now. I mean, my friend called it, but I was like, he don't need Paul Heyman. So I was like, where's this even going? So now Paul is done with CM Punk and Paul is done with Roman. I'm just like, so what angle of the storyline do we go in now with this? I'm intrigued. I definitely want to see what's going to happen on SmackDown because they're going to have better follow-up than The Rock did for this whole WrestleMania press tour, WrestleMania season. So I really want to see how they're going to pull this off. I really want to see how they're going to do it. And right there, that saved Monday Night 1 for me. For that match alone, it gets a thumbs up. But honestly, throughout the whole show, the show was weak. The show, in my personal opinion, without that main event, it does not beat NXT Stand and Deliver that happened this morning or this afternoon if you're on the East Coast. It doesn't beat that. WrestleMania should beat that. I remember times when what was it, NXT, what pay-per-view that, I forgot what pay-per-view that was, but it was so good, and then that's when they had that was when they still had the TLC and Stairs pay-per-view, and I was like, they were going out there trying to have great matches, but bruh, it don't touch other than that main event, because this triple threat match was great, had the drama and everything. It was better than the Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Obafemi one. That was a great match also. But this is the main roster. They should be knocking you out the park. But when the build is down, when there's nothing, when there's lackluster build going into this WrestleMania, and then it's so late into April when everybody got their mindset is even just different. Everything just felt off tonight, honestly. Excuse me, y'all. It felt off tonight. So, when it comes to WrestleMania Night 1, it's like a thumbs in the middle. If you had the main event, it's like that main event saved the show for me. From just like a mess show still. I can't give it a thumbs down because that main event is on the show. I can't give it a thumbs down. I can definitely give it a thumbs up though. So how do you guys feel about it? Y'all guys can post in the comments how I felt about it. I'm gonna check the comments right now. Like I said, we only got 12 people in the chat. I appreciate y'all because once again, and I appreciate y'all liking the video. Make sure you get them likes up because it really helps out the video. I know I just started late. I started, like I said, I started real late. I plan on starting real late tomorrow? No, I won't have the setup already ready. So I don't plan on starting late like I did tonight for tomorrow. And tomorrow I hope we have a better outcome. I want to have, all this together and everything like that. But it's getting late. And I'm just like, look, I could just keep on talking and rambling stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. It's getting late. I'll say that for the pros that be out there on, Solid Monster and JD and all them the people I like watching stuff like that. I'll get there one day. But right now, it's late. See what I'm saying? It's time. I need to go. I need to go to bed. Get ready for Easter tomorrow. Get ready for WrestleMania Night 2. I plan on being live, except for Night 2. I may have Q-Flow on me. I may have people on there with me. Maybe in prime time. Maybe I don't necessarily know.